All right, cool.
We are live.
Yeah, so I'm recording. The attendees are coming in. Welcome, everybody. I think we have the first projects here that we can get started with, but I'm going to do a quick intro with some slides, and then we will start it off. So, welcome everybody to Group 2 on the first day of judging for MarketMake. Hopefully you're in the right place. And if you're not, just reach out to somebody on the ETHGlobal Discord and we'll get you in the right spot. So let's jump right into it. This is the big, well, not the big finale, but we're leading up to it. MarketMake was our first virtual hackathon of 2021. And we were blown away by the amount of people we had participating and from all over the world. So that's 490 hackers from 58 countries and 17 time zones, which meant it was a whole lot of fun coordinating. And we couldn't have been more thrilled with the results of 120 projects, some of which you're going to see presenting in just a few minutes. So I'm going to go over the format. As you may be aware, if you've done an ETHGlobal hackathon before, the way we do judging is 4 minutes for the video demo, which teams will share on their own or speak over, followed by 4 minutes of questions from judges. And then we'll take a 2 to 3 minute break every few teams so that judges can chat with each other and catch up on what the projects were and just finalize their notes. And then we'll take a longer break halfway for everybody just so they can stretch their legs, get some water, that type of thing. So for submissions, the criteria we recommend to judges that they use is fivefold. There's technicality, originality, practicality, UI, UX, so how people use it, and then the wow factor, which is kind of a wild card. We leave this up to judges to decide how they want to use that wow factor. But those are the 5 criteria that we suggest, and that they will be rating projects against. And just generally, we want to stress that this is not necessarily a competition. A lot of hackathons are meant to be competitive. And while people might come to it with a competitive mindset, and there's nothing wrong with that, most of our hackers are here to learn. Not all of these projects are, looking for venture funding or to become businesses. A lot of people are here to learn and build something cool. They want to get feedback on their project, and that's the main intent of what we are trying to give people. It's an educational experience and something that they can walk away from having learned something. And with that summary out of the way, we can move to judges. Today we have Lasse Clausen of 1KX, Marc Zeller of Aave, and Joyce Yang of Global Coin Research. And we are very excited to have all 3 of them here with us today. And without further ado, we can jump right into demos. So the first team up will be Aave Liquidator. I believe they are here, so we'll promote them and then get started. If you are part of Aave Liquidator and you are here, please raise your hand in Zoom, and that will help us locate you in the chat so we can promote you.
Daniel, I believe it's Daniel working on that project, and I see him. Yeah, he's raising his hand right now.
Hey guys.
Daniel, is there anybody else from your team, or is it just you?
Nope, it's just me.
Okay, cool.
I will.
Yeah, you can go ahead and share your screen, and then we'll get started. The other thing to mention is myself or Andy will be keeping time, so we'll put we'll put little warnings in the chat when it gets to 2 minutes to 1 minute, and then when time is up. So just for judges and any teams presenting, just keep an eye on the Zoom chat if you're unsure of where you are in terms of time. All right, and I'll let you start it off, Daniel.
All right, great. You can see my screen?
I can see it, yes.
All right, let me get started.
All right, hey everybody. My name is Dan Kirsch, and I built an Aave liquidation bot during this hackathon. So basically what it does is it just monitors loans to identify ones that are unhealthy, which are under collateralized, and then liquidates them. There's two components to this. First is the one that does the Node.js app that does the monitoring, and the other one is the execution of the liquidation, which is the Solidity contract. So first, talking about the monitoring application, it basically queries the graph for loans, calculates which ones are unhealthy. It'll then estimate profits for them. And if they are profitable, then it executes the liquidation. And profitability takes into account the cost of taking out a flash loan, the cost of doing any token swaps, as well as gas costs. And then on the Solidity contract, what it basically does is opens up a flash loan, pays off or liquidates the unhealthy loan, takes those tokens that are in the collateral token. It'll then use Uniswap to swap them back to the original token to then pay off the flash loan, and any of the profits get sent back to the owner of the contract. So going to a quick demo here. Give me one sec while I share my screen. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and kick off the Node.js app. This is querying the graph and then returning unhealthy loans here. So you'll see here that it found 313 loans, and this is off the Kovan network. 4 of them were unhealthy, and now it's listing out these unhealthy ones. So this is an example. One that I'm going to actually execute on is this one over here. So it has a health factor lower than 1. It's the liquidation is going to be in Aave. It's going to be paid back in WETH, and unfortunately, it's going to be not profitable. But this is for demo purposes. So then going into the Solidity contract, so I have everything set up over here already that matches the information over here. So the user ID is 0xF4, and that's right over here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit transact and cross my fingers, and hopefully we will. This will work here. Okay, looks like we had a successful one, and quickly you can see that flash loan was in Aave tokens, paid out to me. The loan was paid back. We received WETH and swapped Aave tokens, and the Aave token gets paid back to the flash loan, as well as profits going back to the owner. And that's basically it. Overall challenges is relatively painless to use the flash loans and work with Solidity, which was very surprising to me, despite all of the cryptic errors. Really my biggest challenge was on the Node.js app, trying to identify the optimal path to swap back from the collateral to the original token. I still need to wire up the auto liquidate, but the 2 components are there, so just a little bit more time. Thank you very much.
Is this something currently that is, I mean, Aave's been live for a while, lots of liquidations. Is it just that you wanted to just have that experience? Or Mark, and you probably know this, is there still that liquidation ecosystem not that mature around Aave?
So the ecosystem is very mature, but it's like an industry right now. And we didn't have as much has known that open source tools that anybody can use and deploy, because right now the industry, they don't share their tools because it's how they make money. So already, Daniel, thank you for building an open source tool that anybody can use and deploy and try to optimize and build upon it.
And if I may, maybe another question, Daniel, what do you use the profit calculation considers gas and just getting good gas? And what do you use for that? Because that's surprisingly hard to get.
Yeah, it is. So I'm just using gas now. So their API to pull that in, and I'm taking into account the cost of instant gas, the fee for the instant processing.
Hi, Daniel. Is this your first project?
Yep.
In crypto? Yeah.
Well, kind of. I enrolled in the last hackathon, and that's when I started, and I did a graph project, which I never actually completed during the hackathon. So this is really my first end-to-end project.
Awesome. That's really cool.
Well, Daniel, congratulations. Welcome to the Aave fam. Thank you for building on Aave. And also, congratulations on using the graph to pull the data, on using the monitoring of the cost of swapping, the cost of fees, like gas no API, that was very smart. Instant, it was very smart as well, because it's a flash loan. It's a race, and you have to be the first to be mined, because there's no bounty for the second price in a liquidation. So that's super interesting. I will recommend maybe to look into DEX aggregator like Paraswap and 1inch in order to have the best rates for the swap. Maybe that's an area of optimization and improvement, but you did a very good job. I have one very small feedback about your application. The link of the GitHub you shared was not updated, so please fix that for the GG session. It's just a detail, so we can check the code directly and everybody can see it. Thank you very much for your work.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any ways you can make this better?
Yeah, so my thought for the next piece is going to be trying to hook up to price oracles so that I can have more up-to-date pricing on the tokens. And so I don't have to wait for the graph to update what the health of the loan is, and I can actually get ahead of it, do my calculations beforehand. The other piece also is on every call that I make to, so I'm monitoring this, periodically to see the health of the loans. Every call I have to call Uniswap to calculate the optimal path, and that's actually really expensive. It takes a while to get the optimal path, and so I'd like to cache those. The paths for each of the tokens, and only periodically update, check to see if there's a change in the optimal path. Alternatively, it could be a 1inch call. But to that piece on the 1inch, I did look at 1inch just very quickly, and I just found better documentation on the Uniswap side, so I went with that in the interest of time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to you building this out, because it sounds like super useful and for the ecosystem, and yeah, good job.
Awesome, thank you.
Great, thanks. Daniel, thanks for being the first to present. Really cool project, and hopefully you keep building on it. Are there any final comments from the judges or any questions they have left? All right, great. Thanks again, Daniel.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, next up is Flash Daddies, and I'm going to be sharing the video for them. I think we've got everybody here, right?
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Hi, team.
So I'll pull that up now. Just bear with me.
Cool. Thanks, Trent. Yeah, we had some issues with audio. Not a good start.
No worries.
Introducing Flash Daddies, the White Hat Mafia. Introducing Flash Daddies, the White Hat Mafia. So frontrunners are a problem in the Ethereum space. Genuine arbitrageurs who spend time and money on researching prospective profits are met with failed transactions and wasted gas fees. This is due to front-running bots monitoring the mempool. Introducing Flash Daddies, we're illuminating the dark forest by catching and exposing frontrunners. We play frontrunners at their own game with reverse engineering, and we have great meme potential. So our main ideas, the general approach is using reverse engineering by monitoring and replaying transactions in the mempool. If the balance is profitable, we store the transaction hash and gas. And if there's a new block with a higher gas price, we can brand them as a front runner. Our targeted approach examines contracts such as Aave to find regular transactions with the same input data. If the transactions are identical, it's flagged as a potential front runner. And we provide a leaderboard to expose front runners who are branded with a shame token. So the architecture, we use Ganache, in particular the CLI with fork option, to connect it via our own mainnet node in order to get the blockchain and the mempool. And we use ETHScan API to get the API for the smart contracts. So why are we different? We're exposing front runners, which has never been done before. And we asked the crypto community on Twitter whether they would welcome our project, and 71% said yes. And thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Tom, and I'm one of the developers working in the Flash Daddies team. I'll start this program running whilst I explain how it works. First, the Ethereum blockchain is forked and an account with a sizable quantity of tokens is unlocked, giving us access to this liquidity. We then take a record of the various token balances to give us a starting balance. Next, we query the mempool for pending transactions and iterate through them. For each pending transaction, we obtain the contract and method and rerun the exact same transaction, only from our newly unlocked account. Once the transaction has been processed, we recheck the token balance and see whether it was profitable. For profitable transactions, we store the transaction hash and gas price from the original transaction. This allows us to look at newly mined blocks on the Ethereum blockchain and find out if this transaction was front run. In the case of a front run occurring, we send the offending account a shame token via Matic. This special token is a modified ERC721 token that is minted for each recipient and prevents the receiver from sending it on. Tallying up who has the most shame tokens allows a score of the most prominent frontrunners. And this is a demonstration of our leaderboard. Thank you very much for your attention.
Cool. So my question would be, so at the moment, the purpose is it goes as far as saying, okay, at least we're identifying here sort of the worst offenders.
Yeah, so what was the first part of the question?
I just wanted to see if I understood well that basically, so the outcome is that you get to the point where you have at least identify addresses and can say sort of, okay, these are the worst offenders.
Yeah, true.
Do you have any ideas? If you had more time, do you have any ideas to go beyond that? Because they can still do the damage, right?
Definitely. So we did start off the hackathon trying to work out a way to stop front runners, but it's pretty tricky to do without massive collaboration or change to the protocol. So it would be nice just to have this kind of leaderboard so that other companies like exchanges could see it, view it, perhaps look at the most prominent ones and maybe kind of downgrade them or downrate them or shame them. But without changing the protocol side of things, it's really just a light-hearted way to kind of jest at the people who are kind of ruining the space or making the dark forest especially dark.
Yeah.
I have to say I love like the idea. It's very, very original, and you should push it even further, like deliver all worlds, because most of these address at the end of the day, they are known. Like we know the entity behind them, so you can like directly do memes on Twitter and things like that. There's a lot of potential into it, and it's pretty fun. Just one technical question I have. Did you think about filtering out what we can call the self function? So basically, when you use the same nonce of your own transaction, but you increase the gas in order to make sure your transaction pass faster, so you don't shame yourself with your system.
No, we didn't think of that. It's a pretty good idea, though, Mark. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, try to check if the front runner has the same from address. If it's a self front turn, it probably doesn't deserve some shade.
Yes, so we also we tried running a kind of algorithm on the already mined block, and there we could exactly check the from address and then kind of validate if the source is different than the front run transaction with a little bit higher gas price, for example.
Yeah, perfect.
Hey Tom, I think you entered in the last ETHGlobal hackathon, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you. You probably presented another project that I don't think it was this one. It doesn't make sense that you're presenting this one, but I do remember your pitch from the other one as well. It's cool to see you again.
Yeah, it was demystify, similar type of thing, like trying to clear up the space, but yeah, different project.
Yeah, I really like the presentation. I mean, it sounds like you guys put a lot of effort into like presenting the idea and kind of, and it sounds like there's a lot of stuff that you could build out from the dashboard, and definitely very promising.
Thanks, Joyce.
All right. Any final comments or anything the team wanted to say as they wrap up?
I think there's a good synergy opportunity with the rec newsletter. When a front runner failed, you can send him like good try, and send him like a rec token and say good try,
Yeah,
but you failed. The original guy won this time.
and
That's actually a good idea.
And probably let Nansen know about this, and then they can label these addresses.
Yeah, we'll definitely think about that.
Thank you.
Thank you for the feedback, guys.
Thank you for
this is a cool project. I think it's the first time I've seen shaming as a anti front running strategy.
Yeah, so we had the problem with we didn't really want to pay fees for those shame tokens. That's why we choose the Matic network to maybe somehow lower those. So I think that's worth mentioning.
No, that makes sense. You got to be practical. All right. Very cool. Thank you for presenting, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Next up is StableYield with games. Oh, he just dropped. I'm assuming that's either he was demoted or there might be an update issue. Let's try that again. He's back. He's back and muted. There we go.
Here we go.
It's better.
Hey, what's going on?
Great.
Hey. Cool. Let me just pull up the screen share. All right. Ready to go? Cool. Hello, ETHGlobal Hackathon judges. I am the developer on the StableYield protocol. So what I'm going to go into, due to limited time, is go directly into this application and demonstrate how this protocol simplifies the user experience around stable tokens. The front page is simply an introduction into what it does. It shows what you can start earning on your stable tokens and gives you some of the fundamentals. But this heart of the application lives on the dashboard. So what we have in front of us is a custom-built smart contract. It's called the StableYield Vault with credit delegation. And what it allows what it facilitates is a mixture of the Moloch DAO and a Y-earn vault. So essentially what you can do is deposit your stable tokens, you get a share equivalent to how many stable tokens you've deposited that are already in there. So as to demonstrate this, I've already deposited 5,000, price per share is 1, total share is 5,000, etc., etc. What I'm going to go ahead and do is once again deposit a few more stable tokens to demonstrate what's going on in real time. So what I'm doing right now is depositing DAI that's currently on a hard hack mainnet fork, and what's going to happen is my shares will increase, and the what I now have is the vault balance has increased. In addition to, we're seeing that interest that has already been earned from a couple of minutes of my stable tokens being deposited. Right below is you'll see a list of the approved stable tokens that are allowed to be deposited into this vault. And so when I deposit a stable token, it'll instantly convert it in DAI using Curve and then deposit it into this vault. And what the focus of this application is, anybody can just deposit collateral into Aave, and that's great. But a fantastic feature is being able to switch your collateral for the highest earning stable token. So as we all know, Aave, the lending protocol, switches to different tokens at different times. So what I'm going to demonstrate is the ability to, let's do TUSD, is swap the DAI collateral for USDT and then redeposit that back into Aave, once again getting a higher return on my investment. So let's just give it a few seconds. This will pop up, and what this confirmation is basically confirming is that we're going to now swap that DAI for true USD. It's a higher APY. That's fantastic. My shares haven't changed. My price hasn't changed. Everything's going great. Next, what is really important that I want to demonstrate is the ability for users who are in this protocol to provide credit delegation from a multiple user perspective. And this is where the Moloch DAO part comes in, because this smart contract is a mixture of Moloch DAO and a yearn. So I'm quickly going to add my address, how big of a loan I want, select my asset. I'm going to do 0 interest, and I'm going to do variable, and then I'm going to just add an IPFS hash. This will be, the real loan that you're requesting. I'm going to confirm. That's great. Now my proposal is in. I'm going to go ahead and sponsor this proposal, and only someone who has tokens can sponsor a proposal. Fantastic. That should pass now. And now what we're seeing is this new loan, which is powered by the graph, showing up in this application. And what you can continue to do as this proposal goes through multiple steps and has voted on, will eventually pass or not pass. And then that borrower can then take that loan and taking that loan for multiple people and use that however they want. So I know I'm running out of time, but thank you for checking out my decentralized application. I wish I had more time to show everything that's available, and hopefully during the presentation I will, because it is quite a cool application.
Woo! Speed run of the features. Nice job.
Yeah, I thought 4
Perfect.
minutes goes by so quick. I thought I had more time.
When I was seeing the presentation, I was like, how many people in this team? Is that really one-man job?
Yeah.
I'm
mean,
impressed. I'm
I've been working in
actually
the space
super
for a
impressed.
couple of years, so yeah.
Super impressed.
Just
Great
to
job.
understand how within the 2 weeks of the hackathon, what did you build the whole entire thing, or did you what were the components that you built within the hackathon timeframe?
Yeah, so I basically built the front end and the smart contracts and the graph. I have experience with all of them, so it's more just like reusing information I have.
Mhm.
Most of the time was really spent on the smart contracts and figuring out when you have a loan. I have to lock people's shares so they can't withdraw and basically ruin the health factor for other people within the vault, and then figuring out how I check the rate at multiple different times. So a lot of time was smart contracts, and then I really wanted to provide user experience, so then a significant time too on the user interface, but mostly smart contracts.
Yeah.
Do you think you're gonna?
Go ahead.
You think you're gonna continue working on this, or?
Yes, I definitely want to. I want to focus specifically on stablecoins. I want to see if people are interested in the credit delegation, but I definitely want to continue on this project in general.
Very cool.
And also, I'm impressed. I think you are the first one that allows users to migrate full position. So you can swap collaterals, you can do that natively on Aave, but swapping, thanks to credit delegation, full position, even if there's some borrow happening, that's, I think you are the first one that managed to do that. So I'm super, super impressed on it.
Yep. And I wasn't quite sure how you guys were swapping or if you were reaching out. And so like I'm using Curve, so I wasn't quite sure where you guys were getting collateral, but Curve made the most sense for stablecoins for this one.
Curve is the best.
Yeah.
How are you thinking about kind of next steps in terms of getting folks to deposit and then use the product?
Yeah, so I think the biggest one is facilitating a little bit more the automatic swaps. So like, you know, instead of everyone paying gas fees to swap their different stable tokens at different times, you know, there's a real benefit that we've seen with Yearn where it's like everything's automated for you. So what I want to figure out is just doing that automatic switching and at what price should people be rewarded? Because basically anybody can switch to a higher yield token. The only requirements right now is the yield being higher. So like I can't automatically go lower, I can only go higher. And then I'm thinking about like, do they get shares? Do they get stable tokens? So just figuring out that automatic part and then kind of promoting it to more people. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And how challenging was, yeah, very cool as well. And how challenging was the integration of Marc?
You said what was the integration or just?
How challenging, because it's like quite a complex contract.
Yeah, so I actually didn't take all of Moloch. I only took certain parts. Like I ripped out parts that you're canceling proposals and a few others. So I didn't do it. I basically took parts that I needed step by step and then changed a few functions. And obviously you don't need to stake loot and shares and all that. So it was really only like the proposal processing and then just managing proposals. And then kind of everything else was left out. Yeah, that was a bit of a headache to go through Moloch.
Congratulations for doing that.
Yep, cool. Thank you. All right, time's up. All right,
Well,
thank you guys.
awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
See ya. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Later.
All right, we're going to take a quick break just for the judges to reconvene. Panelists, or rather in the panelist chat, I'm going to drop a link. If the judges, we're going to mute you here. If you click that link, just join that Google Meet, and then you can talk really quick there. But we'll mute you here. All right, we are back. The judges had some time to chat, and now we're gonna jump back into the next presentation. Let me make sure Joyce is back before we start, though.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Sorry, were you weren't able to join? But we'll work it out for the next one.
Yes, sorry.
No worries.
Wait for a second.
So next up is Paul. I think he's been promoted.
I promoted him, but he's no longer present. I'm not too sure what happened.
Yeah, it looks like he got kicked or something. We'll see if he rejoins in a second.
I'm trying to join the Google Hangouts. It's not letting me.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what the issue is. We'll work out the kinks for the next one, but we're going to keep going with teams presenting.
Okay.
Hey, Paul. He's writing to us in the chat.
Yeah, Paul, I see that you have rejoined, but are you unable to join as a panelist? It's crashing. It should work in the browser. Do you want to try and join there? Depending on how long he takes to rejoin, maybe the next team can get ready. I think that's Revert. Just be ready on deck. Okay, Mario. Yeah, why don't we jump to Mario and we'll try to work out what Paul's issues are. So. Here we go, Mario. Are you joined? You ready to go? Hey, man.
I think you were gonna help me out with the video because there was some sound issue. But
oh yeah, sure. Yep, I see the note now. Let me pull it up and then I can share that for you.
Thank you.
Hello again, Mario.
Hey, Marc.
You already know what I'm gonna say.
Thanks for that shout out on Twitter. That was really amazing.
All right, so yeah, just judges note that we're jumping over STONK Master and going right to Revert. And I'll share that now.
Hi, we are Revert, and what we built is an analytics tool for DeFi liquidity providers. So currently, a liquidity provider might have his or her assets divided across different dexes. And to properly calculate the P&L for any position, you not only have to take into account the current value of the underlying assets, but also any possible fees or incentives that the positions may be accruing. And also for managing risk, it's important to constantly monitor the volume and trends for prices. And so our solution is an app which is currently available on the web. You can reach us at revert.finance, and from there you can connect your either MetaMask or Portos wallet. For this demo, we're going to use the nuvi.eth account, and this is where we query the blockchain to get all the relevant data. And from this, we construct a total aggregated position for the account. On the top, you get the total returns for any open positions, or you can toggle here to get also the aggregated historic exited positions. and this gives you a total gas cost for any relevant transactions, the total staking rewards that your positions might have captured, the P&L from pools, which is only the P&L from the assets invested and assets withdrawn or currently underlying, and the total P&L, which will include the total gas costs and also the staking rewards your position might have accrued. So for any position, you get two sets of metrics. On the left side are the metrics relevant to the position itself. So the current amount of underlying assets, what was originally invested or withdrawn, and the difference between this. And you also get any claimed and unclaimed rewards your LP might be accruing, and the total USD value of this. On the right side, you get metrics which are relevant to the pool itself, so like the trade-day volume, the reserves, and the volume to reserves ratio, which will inform what kind of fees you might expect to get per dollar invested. You also get the trade-day prices for the underlying assets and the price divergence between these, which will inform what type of divergence loss you can expect. You get the position log, which includes a link to all the relevant transactions for the LP tokens in questions, including what contract the LP tokens may be currently staked at, if that's the case. And in the pool history section, you get a nicer visualization of the pool metrics commented before. And yeah, you can also get the same thing for any historic position, as you can see here. And if you go to our About page, you get a little better explanation with formula of how we compute all this data. And so some things we weren't able to complete was obviously integrating on different exchanges, also building an index of pool by historic P&Ls, and maybe an option for managing and entering positions directly from our UI. There's other interesting possible ideas, like offering a way to hedge for divergence losses with on-chain options, and of course personalized alerts based on your position's P&L. And that's all. Thank you for your time. This was fun. Goodbye.
So this is super cool. It's extremely useful. We're dealing with this all the time. It's a little bit contested. So there's APY.vision. There's liquidity folio as well. They kind of do these things. What they don't consider is the APYs, including extra token rewards. And so that's something actually that I think might go down, or maybe like focus a little bit on that, because this is something we're doing at the fund. It's just actually figuring out the real APYs, pools alone, but then also rewards. And then things like, how do you calculate the reward? Do you calculate the value of the tokens the second you get them, or when you withdraw them, or so it's definitely I don't know if there's actually I think there's quite a lot of people who have this challenge that are a bit more professional, kind of, because you can't trust the APYs on the pages of the projects themselves. A lot of times they're pretty wonky. So yeah, very cool, super useful. We'd use this right away, and we pay for it with the fund as well. We don't care. Like this could be $500 a month. It's worth it because it saves like 3 days. Especially when it's more obscure things. So I think UMA farming was really quite difficult to calculate, and nobody had this automated.
Well, what are the kind of good feedback? Like, what could be a better feedback that's saying that I'm already a user? Like, there's nothing left to say. Like, yeah, I'm impressed by your work. I cannot wait to see how you will iterate upon it, and I will monitor closely your success and progress.
Thank you so much, both of you. Definitely calculate. There's like a lot of things which I just decided for, like, for example, calculating the rewards based on the current price of the tokens, which might not be actually true. And there's like ways to maybe figure that out, like see if they go from the reward contracts to Uniswap and they get sold. But I think the ideal solution for this, or a more better way to implement it, would be to have interaction with the user. So they're monitoring, then we know, oh, you just claimed some rewards. Did you sell them? at current prices, and so it's going to be sort of like an automated but also manual sort of solution, I think.
Yeah, I think maybe also allowing you to toggle to basically say, okay, APY rewards as of when you receive them, or for example, when you've claimed them, right? Because I think especially folks that have to consider taxes, they're quite, you really have to know when you claim it, because that's when the taxable event is, right? So that could be like an idea, just to have toggles user decided APY if you consider this, APY if you consider that.
Yeah. Thanks for that feedback.
Yeah, I agree with what Marc and Lasse said. I mean, generally, you have you already built this out. You just need a little bit more tweaks. And then what's the next steps? What are you looking to build out now, for the future and other pools or other functions?
Yeah, like I think the next thing on our plate is some sushi. We ran a poll on our Twitter account, and it's like the clear winner as to what the deck should be next. So that's hopefully going to be our focus for the next week. And then just iterating from feedback from our users and seeing what else we should be adding or improving.
Yeah. Yeah, good job, Marc. Be sharing it with friends already.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, one question for me, Mario. Are you handling all the curation yourself? Meaning you're finding the projects to feature?
It's sort of automated. Like we have like a list of ABIs, like the master chefs one, which got a lot of contracts, the synthetic rewards, and then when we see a new pool, like a new LP token, we see if the LP tokens were transferred out, and if the contracts where they were transferred out conform to one of these ABIs, and then we just a lot of them do, and then we just know, oh, these are rewards, and we check transactions from that rewards contract to the account. And that's basically how it works. But it does involve manual. Like this weekend, we added a few new ones that had to be manually added. The long tail is going to be like hard work, but it's a job.
Cool, good. Yeah, that's what I was curious about. All right, we're going to move on to the next project. Thanks for presenting, Mario.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mario.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So we'll wait for the next team to get settled. Looks like we're gonna have to get to Paul in the next one after this, while we still resolve some issues.
All right. Hey, Alexi, how are you today?
Fine, and you?
What's a very nice t-shirt you have today?
Thanks.
Sorry, which one is which project is this now?
Right. So this is Lend2 protocols. In Airtable, it should be Revert. We just finished, and now we're on Lend2 protocols, or L2P finance. And I think they're all here. So I'll let whoever's going to share the screen and present. Go ahead and do that.
Hi, today I want to showcase you L2P.finance, the new way to scale your credit delegation. Credit delegation is a brand new feature from Aave. You can now earn an extra yield on top of the one from Aave protocol by delegating your credit line. However, delegating to a trusted circle is not scalable. As soon as you decide to delegate your credit line to a peer outside of your trusted circle, you are exposed to real credit risk in addition to counterparty risk. If you go for a delegation to a dApp, the counterparty risk worsens. Enter L2P, which stands for Lend2 protocol. With L2P, you can earn the extra yield and lower your risk. First, because your borrowers are a list of dApps that we have audited and screened. Secondly, because L2P diversifies your risk, or algorithm allocates your credit line to several dApps, minimizing your exposure to a particular counterparty. With the dApp's reputation at stake, along with the risk diversification, L2P is the place to do credit delegation. L2P is also the solution for dApps. Today, if they need liquidity, they can either obtain it with immobilizing collateral or with time constraints using flash loans. L2P brings liquidity in the long run with no collateral needed. How does it work? On the left, 3 peers decide to deposit DAI and delegate their credit line via the L2P platform front-end application. The front-end ETH or smart contracts, L2P smart contract that dialogues with the Aave decentralized lending pool. On the right, a dApp wants to come in and wants to borrow. For dApps, we have developed an API. It launches an algorithm off-chain that will call an L2P smart contract. The algorithm will spread the debt on a certain number of peers and transfer the funds needed for the dApp. The dApp has obtained liquidity without collateral. Peers will receive an extra yield and have reduced their risk. This platform has been developed and designed by the full stack dev team with business-oriented mindsets. Now, let's go on to the demo. Before the demo, we have prepared a setup where 2 delegators deposited respectively 2,000 DAI and 1,000 DAI on the platform. Now we're accessing the app as a third delegator that wants to deposit 2,000 DAI as well. So we can see that first we need to authorize the platform, then delegate our credit line, and then we are able to deposit all DAI onto the platform. So you can see now the deposit been updated and the earnings will start to grow as well. Now a dApp wants to borrow 1,500 DAI. We will switch to the account of the first delegator to see the result of the loan being displayed onto the delegator's dashboard. To do so, the dApp needs to borrow using our API. After sending a request, we can see that the first delegator has successfully loaned 1,500 DAI to the dApp. Now the first delegator wants to withdraw his or her earnings. So you click on the withdraw button, and since the first delegator has an ongoing loan, our algorithm will calculate the best repartition among other delegators to split the debt. Since the second delegator deposited 1,000 DAI and the third delegator deposited 2,000 DAI, the repartition should be 500 DAI for the second delegator and 1,000 DAI for the third delegator. Now we can see that the 500 DAI have been loaned to the second delegator, and if we go check on the third one, we should see 1,000 DAI displayed on the dashboard, and that's what we can see right now. Finally, the dApp decides to repay 600 of its debt. After using our API, we can see that the loan of the third delegator will have decreased of 600 DAI and is now 400 DAI plus the interest. Yes, so that's it for the presentation, and yeah,
okay, very cool. I get to say, yeah, very cool extension of it's nice kind of for Aave credit delegation to become a platform and you building on top of that.
Yeah, I think that's why we call like DeFi the future of France. It's pretty obvious now. Thank you guys for what you built. And credit delegation was very intended to be something like a financial middleware you can leverage on to build your own financial service. And you will allow a lot of people to just pool their funds together in order to other people in the ecosystem to borrow from them and access them with better financial condition. That's super interesting. And I want to check the progress after the hackathon of the project. Oof, thanks a lot.
Hey guys, I'm trying to, sorry for the background noise. I'm trying to connect my MetaMask. Is it not ready yet, right? It looks like it says the network is not allowed.
Are you using it on Coven?
Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, I see.
Yeah, for now we only support Coven, sorry.
Okay, got it. Sounds good. This looks really awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to trying it on mainnet.
Cool, thanks a lot.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of demand. A lot of dApps are looking for financement and doesn't all want to do sell tokens or things like that. And I think they will be like the perfect candidate to access this feature and this protocol. And for example, like CoinGecko was looking at something like that. And I think they can be like a great first user. So yeah, it would be great. Lot of potential. Yeah. Thanks. We're still looking to add a lot of new features. Yeah, we're definitely glad to hear some propositions and stuff like that.
Have you guys worked together before? Is this that you guys kind of all met to do this project?
No, we worked before together, and we actually stumbled upon the hackathon, and it's been like we never worked on DeFi, and so we thought it would be a really cool moment to get to know how everything works and try new stuff on Aave and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is super cool. A really promising team also. So definitely we're looking forward to kind of see you guys building something.
Cool, thank you.
All right, I think there's only a few seconds left. So if there are any final thoughts from the team on like what they took away from it, or if there are judges who have any final comments, we can get to that. Anything from the team you want to say?
Nothing special, just that we already plan on working on continuing the project and working on other features, such as adding other assets or lending strategies, building a DAO on top of that, and adding new ways to manage the whitelist of dApps. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff to work on.
Yeah, I was going to say definitely continue working on this really interesting space.
Cool, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, team.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thanks for presenting. All right, the next team up is Saké. We're still working on Paul. I think he's going to go back to the green room if he hasn't already and just try and work out some of his issues. But we're going to move on to Saké, and they will be joining now. Oh, it looks like we lost Marc. All right, let's see what happened to Marc. There it is.
I got kicked. I got kicked back as a permanentist. Please don't kick all the French at the same time. That's not very nice. Keep at least one. There's a quorum, you know.
Yes. All right, I think those are the 3 team members, right? If somebody from the team can just give me a thumbs up that they're all here, and I will share the video for them. Igor? You good? Or Roberto, anybody? Okay, cool.
Sorry, I'm not getting any sound right now. Give me a second, please. And I think I had issues earlier with sharing screen and audio. So could you show our video, please?
Yes. If you're having issues with sound, it might be Bluetooth headphones sometimes have issues. I don't know if that's what you have, but.
Okay, I think I fixed it.
Okay, cool. All right, then I will go ahead and share that now.
Hello, this is Saké. We're creating a trustless system for under-collateralized loans through a credit score. This is the Saké team. DeFi space lacks under-collateralized consumer loans. We believe people need access to more leverage for DeFi to compete with the traditional financial system. This is the current interface that the user sees. Once they connect to a lending pool that they like the terms of, and here they can enter the credit tokens that they're willing to stake, as well as the loan amount in way, and their loan length. They then go through MetaMask to create a loan, confirm the transaction, and once that is loading, let's take a look at this diagram. So we start here with the borrower. The borrower goes through the front end and picks the lending pool they like. Once they have picked the lending pool generates a loan contract for the user, which takes the funds from the pool and gives it to the user, and the user puts up credit tokens to stake as collateral. And let's refresh the page because the transaction has been confirmed, and we see here the loan contract that we have created. This is the loan amount, the credit token stake, the interest rate, and the length of the loan. We then go through MetaMask again to initiate this loan contract because we need to fund it with a fee. And the fee is around 1.5%, so we will send a little more. Change the gas limit to be higher while that is going on. So the custom lending pool is actually created by the lender, who chooses their desired risk parameters. And once that money enters the pool, they receive like a certain reward that they choose, and it gets deposited into an Aave lending pool, which then gives it to the borrower through credit delegation. So the lending pool vouches for the borrower. So now that we have confirmed this transaction, we look here and their credit token balance has been hit since they have currently taken out a loan. This is the remaining loan balance. So this is counting for the interest rate, and we have sped up the time. So now we're going to pay off this loan by simply sending money to this contract. So we're going to send money again to cover it. And I will send extra because whatever is not necessary, the contract will just send back to the user. So now that is loading. Now, since it got confirmed, let's refresh the page. And we see here that they have gained 12.2 credit tokens. And now the loan has been paid off completely. And that is basically it for the user interface. And now what we want to work on in the future is implementing identity solutions such as Bright ID or Circles, lending pool aggregator to combine the power of multiple lending pools, implement a governance token incentive mechanism, as well as add NFTs to track average loan activity in order to prevent some Sybil attacks from the system. Thank you for your time, and this has been Saké.
Cool, thank you. I have a quick question from my understanding. So ultimately, for me as a borrower, I still have to put credit tokens as collateral?
Yes. But they don't have monetary value. They're just earned through the system through paying back loans.
Some kind of reputation system, right?
Yes.
And how do you bootstrap that?
We wanted to initially start with over-collateralized loans, and eventually you can work your way up to 1x and then over 1x.
Okay, yeah, because that's very long range attackable, right? Where you just kind of, because then the idea is I think they were called Telly or something out of San Francisco. That is a similar idea that at the beginning, and so every time you pay back, that sort of becomes part of your under collateralized balance. Is that correct? Right. And then and roughly right, and then well, at least that's what they had, and then basically, but it just means that you just have to pay back for a while, and then at the end you can exit without repaying.
Yeah, the worst fear for us is actually another platform just like us that the user could also borrow funds from under collateralized and just go back and forth from one system to another and just create like a massive bubble of debt that eventually blows up.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
And how do you prevent that exactly in your system?
I think we need to add a lot more features. So that's why we wanted to add like some way to have a governance token to maybe better align incentives of borrowers and lenders, create some sort of an insurance fund that would be paid into over time, so that we maybe try to make sure that if you are able to borrow under collateralized loans, you can't borrow more than you kind of paid into the system through fees to have enough insurance in order to like handle these types of risks. But it's certainly a challenge.
Also, I just wanted to add that we're also trying to take some NFTs to track like the loan activity. So if you usually take like $1,000 loan, you won't be able to get like $1 million loan the next day, you know? It's gonna be like consistent amount of loans.
Yeah, it's definitely a worthy space experimenting around. I would just put like big disclaimers on, you know, it's alpha and risky, but it's, yeah, it's a good space to experiment in.
I agree on that. You are pioneer guys. Let's try things. Maybe a few things will break, but we have to build things. Excuse me, Joyce.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, generally, yeah, I agree with what the guy said. This is super interesting and what a lot of people are exploring. I think you guys should talk to a lot of the lenders and see what they're doing on their end and see if there's ways to partner or ways to kind of just learn from what they have built and the activity and the users on their platform and their takeaways there. That would be really helpful probably for you to build out this lending tool, at least build out things that are going to be super useful for the users that are already, you know, are lending and borrowing on the space. But super cool. I think you guys thought out a lot of this stuff. It's a very like complete project from my perspective. So
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, if there are no final comments, we can wrap there. Thank you for presenting. And we're gonna move on to Paul.
Yes, hello. It's finally working.
Hey, glad you could successfully join as panelist. This is good. And I believe I'm gonna share your video.
I can do it. I think it should work now.
Okay, great. And then after this, we will take judges. How do you feel about taking our halfway break here? Just after this.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Paul. That looks like it's coming through all right. As long as you shared the sound, or you're going to talk over, you should be good to go.
I'm talking. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So hello everybody. I will show you my project that I made during this hackathon. So what can you do with it? You can open a leverage position between any Aave supported token and make a lot of stonk or lose all your money in a decentralized fashion. So why did I do this? It's to learn Solidity by creating a contract from scratch and interact with multiple protocols. So now let's show you a quick demo of how it's working. So in this example, this is like uni short position that I am opening against USDC. So this button is just here for debug purposes, and we'll do a swap from Ethereum to uni. And then I will deposit this uni in my contract to open a leverage position. So first, you have to approve the delegate borrowing. Next, approve the token spending so the contract can pull the uni token. And then call the function to open the position. So you can see you have now a debt token and a token. So this is a schema of what my contract is doing. So first, the contract pulls the uni token from the user, then open a flash loan of twice that amount on Aave. It's then swapping all the uni tokens from the user on the flash loan on 1 inch to get USDC tokens, and then deposits all the USDC tokens in Aave on behalf of the user and borrow the uni token to repay the flash loan. The user is now ending up with a lot of USDC token, a USDC token, and a debt token representing the uni that we use to repay the flash loan. And everything is using the delegation in the Aave contract, so the token is never in the contract and end up on the user wallet. I made my function so you can close, partially close the position. So you want to recover some of the uni that you deposited into the position. You can just input how much a token you want to sell. And then my contract will do a flash loan and do the reverse of what I showed you previously. and get back some uni token. Then to fully close the position, it was not totally possible because 1 inch only allow you to swap a defined amount of token. And since a token are always increasing in value, you always end up with some dust because at the moment of the execution, the value is not the same than when you call the 1 inch APY. The difficulty that I encountered was that this is my first project in Solidity. I never developed a contract before. The problem with 1 inch and some possible improvements are heavy gas usage optimization because I did not do anything of this. I just wanted something that worked. And some UX improvements. So for example, show you what you will get after calling the functions. So thank you from every member on the Discord for helping me doing this project.
Well, first, thank you for building on Aave and welcome to the Solidity developer family. You're a real one now.
Yeah, it's super cool, man. This is really, I think for, your first playing around with Solidity, this is very cool. Yeah, and you kind of went straight at the heart of DeFi there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to say, I'm in love with the UI. I love the meme. It's like, it's perfectly targeted at the audience. Like as a DJ, I want to ape into your app immediately.
Thank you.
Yeah, Paul, how did you come up with the idea and the routes?
At first, I hadn't any idea, so I looked through all the suggested idea on the MarketMake table. And this one seemed cool because I wanted to do contract development mainly on the less UX. So this was perfect for me.
Yeah, this is a great job for a hackathon project. I mean, this has direct use. If you put it out there, people will be using it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What are you going to do next?
For now, I don't know. Maybe participate in the next hackathon.
That's the correct response. Do the next hackathon.
Yeah, just keep building and just put it out there, put it on Twitter and see what people say and then get some feedback.
I think that's the best approach in our ecosystem. Like everyone you see around you started just like you did at some point, and me included. Like my first hackathon on Ethereum was in 2015, and I never stopped. And I think you took exactly the right path.
That's why I made the hackathon, because I wanted a goal to reach, and the hackathon gave me that.
Yeah, we all hope to become like Paul. I mean, Marc in the next 5 years after after coming out of the hackathon.
Lasse, did I cut you off earlier? I thought I heard something.
No.
All right. Anything else you want to say, Paul? Otherwise, I think the judges are good with questions.
No, I think that's all. Thanks.
Great, and glad we were able to get you to talk live. I don't think I would have been able to explain your project otherwise. So thank you.
Yeah, good job, Paul.
Goodbye.
All right, so next up, we're just going to take a quick break. So that's for the panelists and the attendees. Just hang on for 10 minutes, stretch your legs, get a drink. And then, but before we do that, judges, just hop back into that Google Meet. And if you want to talk about any of the projects, you can do that. But yeah, 10 minutes, we'll be back here and back to demoing projects. We'll see everybody in a bit. All right, welcome back, everybody. Just want to make sure we have all the judges back before we get started, but let's see, the next team up is FlashSuite, and let's just make sure we have all of them present.
I don't see Raf. Raf, are you here?
I see 3 team members, so you're expecting 4, you mean? There we go.
Oh, I don't know who Andy is.
Andy is my guy.
Okay, cool. Cool.
All right, yeah, so it looks like everybody's here. The judges are thumbs up, ready to go. And, oh wait, we're still waiting for Joyce.
What's the name of this this one?
This project is FlashSuite. So once I just get confirmation from Joyce, then we can get started. Hey Joyce, are you back?
Yes, I'm
Perfect.
back. Sorry about that.
No worries. All right, so FlashSuite, I'll let you do your thing.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen.
Hello, MarketMake. Welcome to FlashSuite. FlashSuite is a set of tools created in a user-friendly interface with Flash Loan enabled features. As you know, the use of Flash loans are currently not very accessible to those non-Solidity developers, and we want to change that. So we're going to show you today 2 tools, FlashPose and FlashArb. The first problem we're trying to solve is, how do I transfer deposits and loans from one wallet address to another that allows privacy, wallet management, and the ability to transfer to a cold wallet? So our solution allows you to select the loans and deposits from one account and migrate them to another account in just a few clicks. Let's demonstrate.
For this demo, we are starting from one of my accounts that has some positions on Aave. When I land on FlashSuite, it is prompting me to connect my account. I head over to FlashPose to migrate my positions from Aave. It is retrieving them first. And we can see I have some deposits and some loans. I select what I want to migrate, and I'm now ready to start the migration. I first need to approve the transfer of my 2 deposits. So I confirm the 2 transactions. All right, all good. And now it is asking me to connect to my destination account. It is retrieving the positions on this account, but there's currently nothing, no deposits and no loans. So now we are at step 2. I need to approve the transactions to migrate my loans. Again, there is 1 transaction per loan, and it's actually using credit delegation to allow our smart contract to borrow on behalf of the destination account. And now we can complete the migration with 1 final transaction that is going to use a Flash loan to migrate my positions. Complete. It will refresh the dashboards to show the positions after the migration, and we're good.
The next tool we're going to look at is FlashArb. DeFi is full of arbitrage opportunities, but the vast majority of people who take advantage of these opportunities using Flash loans are technical bot developers. Non-technical and non-devs are usually not able to take advantage of these Flash loan contracts, and there lies the problem. Our goal is to empower non-technical users to be able to identify and execute arbitrage trade opportunities using Flash loans with great UX and user-friendly interface. Let's demonstrate.
Our Flash ARB tool is showing price discrepancies between different decentralized exchanges using real live data from 1inch and 0x API. We can select a pair. It's going to refetch the data. And next we select a spread, amounts we would borrow, showing the profit, everything in it, the flash loan fee, the gas costs. For now, we have to enter it manually, and it's showing the estimated profit. For future improvements, we will integrate a button to actually execute the arbitrage using a flash loan.
FlashSuite is just the beginning. Enjoy what we have so far, and thanks for listening.
So I know folks who are trying to do these arbitrage, and doing this as a fund. Have you guys thought about this, or are you just looking to build this as a tool for other community members?
So I'm happy to answer that. So as a fund, no. The reason being is that the spreads that we're creating on this tool, right? We don't know if it's viable enough to take in capital and making large, huge, trades. And also there's a slippage factor, right? So if we take millions of dollars and make large trades, right, the amount of slippage that could really implicate the amount of profitability that we can get. So we want to just do this this tool is designed to made for consumers like people like me and people like, that are non-technical, because what we found is that a lot of people who wants to do arbitrage, they go on YouTube and they look at their videos on how to do an arb, and they're completely lost on how they can actually execute. So we want to help them and empower them to visually do one themselves. So that's the whole idea.
Yeah, I totally use this. I'm not technical, and I would love a solution like this.
Yeah, and I think it's great that you're actually going for a lot of different smaller users versus larger ones, because the problem with sort of arbitrage, especially liquidations, is when so this happened to Maker, right? So they've had one entity constantly outcompeting everyone else in the liquidations. And so everyone just like dropped off, and there was only one party left. And then at one moment they realized like, hey, it's only us, and I can bid 0 dice for something and get everything for free. And so it's really important for a lot of these DeFi protocols to have an ecosystem of many, many different actors that are all competing and kind of all thriving on a small scale, because you want this competition to even, be maintained in these extreme situations. So that's why I think it's great to say, no, this is actually like for a lot of smaller players.
Completely agree on that. And I have to give a special shout out. I don't know who managed the UI and UX design, but it's incredible. Like, yeah, everything is so simple. I saw it like in 1 second. I know exactly how it works, exactly where I should click or how I should use it. It's like better than a lot of projects in this ecosystem. So you should be proud of yourself, whoever worked on it mainly.
Mikkel is the one who actually built to give her credit where it's due. She was the one that did all the UI and UX. So great job, Mikkel.
Great job. Congratulations. And there's already a few projects in this space trying to do things in that area. One example is Fury Combo. Maybe that was an inspiration for you guys, but I think your projects go straight to the point and specialize on a few things. And then from what I understand, like FlashSuite, the idea to iterate on a few use cases on top of that and leverage on top of it. And it's super interesting. And I want to follow what you do after the hackathon.
Yeah, we're actually glad that you're part of our judges, because we heard your call in one of the ETHGlobal meetings for a tool to allow to migrate positions from Aave easily between 2 accounts. So that was a big inspiration for us.
And you did it. Thank you.
Yeah.
and we envisage to do it with other platforms, so from Aave to other platform like Compound or on the other side to migrate position between platforms, protocols.
Excuse me, what is Compound?
to bring positions from Compound to Aave. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know this one.
Yeah,
this is good. Thank you for your work, guys.
This is great. Yeah, guys. Looking forward to having you kind of pushing this out to the market. Sorry, my dog's going crazy, but I'm really looking forward to trying it out for sure and sharing it with friends.
And so
Good job.
some improvements that we thought about could be actually collateral or loan swap during the migration, if that's interesting for users. Also, maybe reducing the number of transactions using permits, and we said migrating from different protocols. But there's still a lot of work to do and a big roadmap.
Yeah, I just as a final feedback, yeah, permit is a good way to explore, especially when you want to migrate full position where you have like several assets as a deposit and maybe several assets as borrowed assets. If you pre-approve all those specific transaction and don't have to allow like 4, 5 transaction, but you do all in one batch with a meta transaction, that would like be incredible in terms of UX, and that's not that hard to implement. So that would be like even better.
Yeah. We have made some transaction when we transfer about 10 coins, and the flash loan includes 24 in internal transactions.
That's
so
incredible.
You can transfer the whole dashboard.
That's good.
In one flash loan.
It should be a bit costly in transaction fee, but it's incredible that we can do.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap there so we can stay on schedule, but thank you, FlashSuite, for presenting and answering the questions. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Next up is
Sugoi.
Mamemaki.
Oh, konbanwa.
こんばんは。
こんばんは。Hi.
So I think your team will be sharing. I'll let you do that however you like.
いいですね。再生して。
はい、Yes.
はい。
You can go ahead whenever you're ready.
あ、鳴ってないですか？あー、ごめんなさい。Sorry。
Hi, my name is Daisuke. Let's start presentation. Our project for hackathon is named Mamemaki. Mamemaki is a fun platform for virtual YouTuber. Our team is 4 people from Japan. So we built a platform to let you create personal token easily with low fees. YouTuber issue and distribute own tokens at a low fee, and fans can get this token. Why we built it? Currently, we have 2 reasons. One is to create a fan community using personal tokens without relying on a specific platform, like a YouTube. Another one is gas cost is so high on Ethereum network. How it works? YouTuber creates personal tokens. Fans get the right to receive tokens. YouTuber distributes token to fans. Fans can find the amount of tokens. Anyway, I'll show you the demo. At first, virtual YouTuber creates personal tokens in admin page. It's easy to create wallet with Taurus wallet. Next, fans watch our video page and login with social login using Taurus. You don't need the knowledge of wallet. Next, fans watch the live video. After a few minutes, fans earn the right to get personal tokens. When finish the live, YouTuber distribute personal token to fan in admin page. Personal tokens is deployed on Matic network. You can check the token holders like this. And fans can find the amount of own token in YouTuber page. That's it.
Cool, thank you. Is this have you built projects on Ethereum before, or is this your first blockchain project?
止まりました。あれ、すみません。
Guys,
Did that audio come through?
Just wondering, have you guys built on Ethereum before? Or is your first sort of blockchain Ethereum project?
First project gives user nice experience. Future work optimizing the logic for distributing personal token, governance using personal tokens, and introducing the meta transactions for user experience. Thank you.
I think this is much needed, especially like when the on Twitch or on YouTube, the platform do a lot of censorship or take a lot of commission. So for example, on Twitch, they take like 50% for affiliates, and I think YouTube take 30%. So having like some kind of decentralized direct pathway for VTubers to directly contribute and support the content creator should be, it's very much needed. So thank you for your work on this, and that's incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I shared I saw there's been another company that's been doing something very similar, and I shared it in the chat. It's called Mintgate, and they're doing this for YouTube videos as well as articles, as well as any kind of media. So you guys could check it out. I think what you're building is definitely something that a lot of people are interested in. Like, we are exploring our token ourselves for our content, and we're doing mostly, writing and articles and such. So this social token area is definitely something that you guys are onto something. So good job.
Thank you. Thank you for information.
And that area is growing. Yeah.
Are you guys in Japan now?
Yes.
Oh, wow. It's very late there. Well, thank you so much for staying up for doing this.
Yeah.
So early morning.
Yes.
Almost morning.
Yeah.
So do you know the Mamemaki?
No.
Mamemaki is a Japanese traditional festival.
Oh.
So beans throwing.
Is that like the social token is the bean?
Yes.
Okay.
That's very cool.
That.
This is so cool.
What was it like building on Matic network? Have you built there before, or is this your first project there?
No, first time.
Mm.
Was it easy to navigate all the docs and the resources?
Oh, yes. So similar to the Ethereum Solidity. So we can easily the development.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of projects are definitely, I mean, it's been a kind of a ramping up process over the past year. Projects looking at Matic, looking at XDAI. So it's good to see, you're thinking a little bit forward, given gas costs.
Yeah, it's a big issue for gas for on the social tokens front. So definitely, it's a thing that worth considering and looking into more.
And starting directly on layer 2 is just the right approach. So thank you for considering it.
Any final comments?
Keep building. We'd love to see more projects from you guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you for presenting. The next project up is Credit 3. And Isaac is joining. Isaac, are you the only member of your team presenting today?
I'm also from Credit 3.
Yep. Oh, okay, great. Just want to make sure we have everybody up. Looks like there's one more maybe. So just 3 team members, is that correct?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, so this is Credit 3, and I will let you start your presentation.
Welcome to the Credit 3 live demo and unsecured lending vault. It's a collaboration by Team Bloom and the Team Apis. So what is Credit 3? Credit 3 is built on top of Aave's credit delegation vault. It's a credit score-based unsecured lending for borrowers, and investor can earn extra interest on top of Aave's rates. So let's jump right to the smart contract. It will take 2 NFT token as the constructor param, and then we can launch the smart contract for the Credit 3. And once we do, we have the smart contract address here. So here are the steps for launching the smart contract. It's done, and then we need to approve investor and the borrower for the smart contract. So we already loaded the USDC address, and then we're gonna approve the spender for this smart contract we just minted. Now we can start seeing the investor. So to be an investor and invest into, all we need to do is to deposit collateral. So to deposit collateral, it will take the USDC address, the asset address, and the amount. So we'll just deposit $100 into it. And then you see that since it's approved, we can deposit into it. So for the borrower, it will initiate the borrower wallet from Bloom to request any credit data. And then you'll see that I have my Bloom ID. And then through the Bloom app, you can scan the QR code and then approve the share. So now you see the credit data is shared. And then there's a callback. It's not shown here. The callback will go into the market protocol and mint a smart contract token, NFT token.
Is the video stuck for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you start it again from that spot?
No, let's retry.
Yes, no.
It looked like it was stuck, but I've undone the screen sharing. So maybe either you can play it again or I can try it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, why don't you take over so we don't play?
Yeah, let me pull it up right now.
For this smart contract we just minted. Now we can start seeing the investor. So to be an investor and invest into, all we need to do is to deposit collateral. So to deposit collateral, it will take the USDC address, the asset address, and the amount. So we'll just deposit $100 into it. And then you see that since it's approved, we can deposit into it. So for the borrower, it will initiate the borrower wallet from Bloom to request any credit data. And then you'll see that I have my Bloom ID. And then through the Bloom app, you can scan the QR code and then approve the share. So now you see the credit data is shared. And then there's a callback. It's not shown here. The callback will go into the market protocol and mint a smart contract token, NFT token, to authorize the borrower. So once this is done, we can call request credit. So request credit, because the user is already approved for a high credit. So the high credit smart contract is here. The token number will be number 4. And then the asset will be the USDC asset address. And then once you request, the smart contract will go through. And then we will be approved on a smart contract. And then once we do that, we can see that we can actually borrow from Aave's smart contract. So the Aave's lending pool here, we can start borrow. The asset address will be the USDC, and then the demos contract on behalf of the demo contract, we'll be using the demo contract. And then after we mint this transaction, you'll see what it means. Once it's approved, let's see the transaction details, transaction hash, and let's take a look on Kavan. So here you go. So you see there is a Aave token minted to the smart contract here, and then you have a USDC sent to the borrower. So this is how it works. Investors will deposit into a credit delegation vault, which will provide a credit. And then the borrower, we just describe the whole flow, and then they can borrow and repay using the credit.
Looks like it cut out a little bit early, but I think it came through all right.
Yeah.
Question: the credit score. How does that come? How does that evolve, or how does that build up?
Sure. So in the app, we have a connection to TransUnion where we can pull somebody in the US's credit, and then basically they share it with that QR code, and then it it can either plug in through create a Chainlink Oracle data feed to connect a username to a certain credit bucket, or in this case with Molecule, it actually mints an NFT saying you fall into this bucket, therefore you qualify for this loan.
Okay.
I think this is super creative. I like enjoying seeing the kind of the crypto data mingled with non-crypto kind of sphere. And it's how did you guys come up with this idea?
This is something that I've kind of wanted to see exist for years. And I was just really excited to see that Aave credit delegation is now at a point where we can do something like this, because we've been trying to figure out that bridge between DeFi and traditional data world. So working with Calvin and the Molecule team, they just came up with this idea where you can enter into a traditional lending agreement through bureaus and through contracts and just have the loan dispersed on chain. There's really shouldn't be that big of a barrier to get a lender to do that. If you're one situation we thought of as you're buying a TV online and normally there's a pay over time with a firm, no reason why that loan couldn't be distributed through an Aave credit delegation vault.
Very cool. Yeah.
Some feedback on my side. Presley, is what you built. I love the fact that you leverage synergy between different projects, you do the DeFi Legos and even CeFi in that case, Legos together in order to create a full-fledged protocol and product. And what we envision at Aave with credit delegation is to be a financial middleware that people can just adopt and take it and build up on it. And that's exactly what you've done. And I want to see your progress and success in the future.
Thanks.
One question I had was, is this living within the Bloom app, or is this like a web app? Where does it actually live for the user?
So the user only has to use the app initially to pull together the data they need to prove that they qualify. But then this is a separate, it's a standalone product, this lending product. So sometimes I think of it kind of like a vault that anyone could invest into, and then in this case, Bloom is the one saying these are the people that qualify for a loan, so they're the risk assessor. But anyone could play any role in that process.
And that would be my last question. So on the identification and basically giving like a risk tranche to, or like a reached nomenclature to the borrowers, allowing to have like a certain kind of size of trade, that's one thing. But on the other side, if the what kind of solution for maybe binding agreement between protocol and the borrowers did you envision? Did you check what OpenLaw does? These kind of things.
So we looked at OpenLaw, but I think in this case we were just going to spin up like a hello sign where you'd go and actually sign a legal contract. We'd be open to using something like OpenLaw for it, but in order to do it kind of like one step at a time, we were thinking keep the actual loan terms as traditional as possible, like a lender would be comfortable with, and just open the credit line on chain.
Okay. Fair enough. That's very great. Thank you for your work.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good job.
All right, we're going to move on to the second to last project, which is copyright securities. Let's get them promoted. Oh, it looks like one of them might be here. Nicholas, is that you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Right here.
Are you the only team member, or are we expecting anybody else?
No, it's just me for now.
Okay, great. Yeah, you can start whenever you're ready.
Perfect.
Hello, and welcome to our presentation for Royalhits, DeFi tools for the artist. Let's start with our introduction. There is an absence of blockchains providing financing tools for the world of entertainment. The modern music industry does not allow the artist to develop a real independent career. Access to funding is a monopoly and rarely banked. Artists might be among the careers benefiting the most from the DeFi tools on the crypto world. So the solution is to allow creators to get funded by enabling them to issue investment opportunities for individuals that believe in their development and invest based on its potential. So the benefits of this would be inclusion of one of the most active sectors in terms of digital presence to the crypto landscape, DeFi spread over new industries, and a DeFi solution for non-developers and non-crypto native users. So some of the details of Royalhits. It's a layer 4 dApp built on top of Ethereum to lend and borrow crypto. It enables artists to create auctions and issue a debt token that investors or lenders acquire for the term of the smart contract loan. Its price fluctuates based on the predictions market tools that follow the real performance of the creators, and it uses a reputation model to determine the willingness and proneness from borrowers to pay their debts. So for the integrations, we need external ways to have reputation tokens instead of issuing them, an infrastructure to make loans of crypto focused on the long term, APIs to use streaming platforms and social media external data as oracles, and to showcase the auctions on external channels.
This is the demo for Royalhits. It is intended to show the most basic feature the platform will be able to do, which is lending funds to artists to finance their careers. This is basically a dApp where investors that believe in the artist's career can put their crypto into a yield farming contract. And it would have basically a total supply of tokens that it would distribute as a reward for the investors who put, in this case, mock DAI into the balance of the contract. So let's say that I am an investor and I want to lend money for an artist. So I will then have a balance in my account which I can put into staking. So I'm going to put just 100 DAIs or mock DAI into staking. You can see that the investor has a staking balance, And after that, we refresh this one more time, and it should issue the token. So if you refresh one more time, you can see that you can get 100 DAI as a reward. Now, if you want to withdraw this amount, you can as well unstake it. This is basically just taking back the amount you put into the staking pool. That's pretty much it. Thank you for your attention, and this was Royalhits.
Hi, Nicholas. I'm curious, did you talk to a lot of artists when you were thinking about building this for artists, or just kind of creators in general?
It's I thought about it with artists because well, basically it's framed on top of copyright of a copyright framework in which you can trust on the performance of the copyright an artist owns. So by that means we would be creators to answer your question. Yeah, owners of copyrights, because the way we envision is just to trace the performance of that copyright in order to create an expectation of what's going to be the potential of it over time.
Got it.
Now, first I have to ask, what is a layer 4?
I just read about the DeFi ecosystem, and I just read about the different layers. So, for example, the first layer, it's like the Ethereum network in which everything is built on top of, and then comes the financing tools such as Compound and Aave to create like incentives for crypto owners to put their crypto into that. And then on top of that, the layer 3 and 4, which are just dApps that are closer to user, to not crypto native users, to create like more opportunities outside of the blockchain landscape.
That's fair enough. I mean, it's a new ecosystem where all the rules are not written in stone. So I would call that a layer 4 apps starting from now.
You heard it from here first.
Yeah, you created something.
Yeah.
Have you worked in blockchain or in hackathons before?
No, this is my first hackathon. I actually have a background more into the entertainment industry, and just recently, for the last year, into programming and into DeFi for the last 2 months. And this has been like a super a sprint for me in terms of.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's
that's pretty
cool.
amazing.
And I think you went into a very good space. Everybody's looking for Solidity developers.
I'm already seeing the opportunities, and I'm already seeing the landscape for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you
yeah, go for it.
Do you have any input, because Rarible had like a great breakthrough with NFTs, and this is not NFT core related, but it has some relation. So what's your input from that point of view?
I mean, I think the reality is that it's probably security, these things, because there's expectation of profit. So in the US, it might be a little iffy, but the good thing is it's not your problem. It's only the problem of the artist that is promoting it. And like we've seen, some of them just don't care. And so, but I think it's a good way. I would just try to, polish it up a bit and kind of launch a first version of it and see. But I definitely, I think also for reference, check into a project called DAOFi. And that's kind of really looking into making it very easy to deploy custom bonding curves, etc., for different artists, etc., communities. But it's definitely an interesting space, and we're getting to the point where actually all this sort of more mainstream interaction is becoming actually quite real.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think over the last few weeks, we've seen like some pretty big names starting to get into the creator space. So it's I think it's an idea or family of concepts whose time is here, not just for crypto people, but for everybody outside of crypto too. It's getting bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Nicholas. Good luck if you continue to work on it. But thanks for presenting. And that brings us to the last project of this judging session, which is Upala Digital Identity. And oh, sorry about that. And I'm going to share the video. Peter, if you're ready to go, I can do that. Okay.
Greetings humans, we are Upala, an anti-Sybil system for the apps and identity as a service in the future. Today there is no reliable way to tell humans apart from bots on Ethereum, neither there is on the traditional web, and in Upala we believe that over 1 billion people without any ID is a part of the same unique human problem. Existing solutions out there measure the probability of personhood in percents. We don't do that in Upala. Instead, our account score represents how much it would cost to forge this account. We have dollars instead of percents. The building block of Upala is a group. The group has a pool of money attached to it and a list of members with their scores. The user score is valued in dollars. It represents the amount of money that a user can steal at any time from the pool. This act of stealing results in deleting their ID. We call it explosion. The possibility of an explosion is what incentivizes groups to let only trusted members in. And the apps are able to trust those who didn't explode by seeing how much a group staked on them. The group in turn can earn for providing the scores. These are the only constraints of the protocol, but it's enough to create just the right incentives. As groups need large, low explosion risk audiences, the apps need trusted groups as their score providers, and users need the highest possible scores. A market similar to insurance emerges, but instead of trading coverage for premium, in Upala scores are traded for solved captures, reputation, deposits, or other efforts. The competition among groups pushes the scores to be roughly equal to the cost of acquiring such a score, which from another perspective is the price of forgery, and as it is decided by the market, it's very practical to rely on when interacting with the user. Upala is a protocol, cross-chain by design. Anyone can create an Upala group around any trusted community or verification method. It could be a group based on SMS verification, a GitHub group, your favorite community, or a whole identity system wrapped into Upala protocol. Groups can also aggregate scores from multiple sources, enabling scores that are higher than a shadow market cost of a state ID, so it has a potential to become a substitute for that. And yep, that's our goal. But for now, we made this minimal viable anti-Sybil system called Blade Runner. The top group here is managed by a DAO, curates other groups, aggregates scores from them, and verifies the scores to the apps. Now let's get to the code. We put most of the efforts on the protocol and tools to interact with it. You can check the specification on GitHub. The user-facing app is called Multi-Passport. It's already on RimKB, so let's see how it works. First, I push the Register ID button. As we don't have any Upala ID yet, we will have an empty ID, and we'll now have to join some groups that will give us a score. So suppose we are a member of MetaCartel DAO, and they created an Upala group to provide its members with Upala score. So let's say they are giving out $10 score to everyone, to every member. After we have a score, we will be able to interact with the apps. Let's say we can interact with a universal basic income app that gives a $1 to every account with score higher than $10. So we have $15 score actually, and we can interact with those universal basic income apps. But we don't want that. We'd rather explode and betray our friends at MetaCartel So let's do that. After that, we'll steal that 15 DAI from the group's pool, and the meta cartel will be notified that a member exploded, and they will not let us in again unless we probably repay this damage to them. So this is how it works. Thank you very much.
Yep. As a member of Meta Cartel, say that again.
Yeah, man. So high level, I like that you are. So I do really think markets are incredibly good at solving problems, and then because of blockchains, you need trust for markets, and so blockchains enable trust, and so therefore you can enable markets to tackle a lot of problems. So from the high level, I find it really interesting. To be honest, I didn't get 100% the mechanics just yet, but maybe I can look at it later. But on the high level, I really just like the approach of using markets to solve this identity problem.
Yeah, thanks. That's true. That's really, I think it's super practical to rely on markets because they are a ultimate source of truth, so to say. And yeah, you can read the docs for Upala. There are docs, and I can help you if you want.
Yeah, Peter, I really like the deck itself. I mean, honestly, with the emojis, you explain a lot. So that's actually something I encourage other folks to look at and just do that because, you don't have to use many words, but you really were able to describe that very well. To me, at least, I think I understood it pretty well in the general high level. How are you thinking about in terms of getting adoption for this? Are you have you talked to any of the Meta cartel members and I'm just curious, did you show this and what are their thoughts on this?
Yeah, I had some talks with Meta cartel. Some of them are interested. So in terms of adoption, in Upala case, we don't focus on users, but we more focus on identity systems, which will use Upala to create groups. And the apps that will use Upala Score. So I'm talking with Bright ID folks, with Meta cartel, with Metagame, so that they at least know what Upala is and how it works. And also there is a Blade Runner DAO, which they can already join. And I want to start discussion there on how on what they want from Upala, what they want from each other first, the score providers and score consumers, what they want from each other, and what they collectively want from Upala. This is the next step, this Blade Runner DAO thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it sounds like you're talking to the right folks and that you want to, I guess, have you thought about the underlying transactions with stable coins, or I assume this is probably what you're thinking about when you're that infrastructure there?
Yeah, initially I thought that we'll use just DAI, but probably as I deeper think about it, probably Upala needs some kind of wrap around DAI or other stable coin and issue its own token just for the sake of maybe governance, some fees optimization, like use burn instead of transferring fee, just burn a token and like that.
Got it.
Any other questions?
My general feedback is that it looked like a great start. I would love to dive into the mechanics and especially the game theory of your project, because the presentation was very clear to me. As you said, Joyce, with emoji, even the complex stuff is made easy, but I still want to learn more. And I think that's a good sign. When you discover something and you want to learn more, that's always a good sign.
Cool. I'll be happy to help.
Yeah, keep building, Peter.
Thanks.
Yeah, good job. Is it just you?
Currently, yeah. At some parts of project, some people combine help, and I'm constantly looking for front-end builders because I'm mostly focused on the protocol and backend. So, yeah, looking for front-enders.
Yeah, I mean,
Peter, what would you say is the biggest challenge for scaling this up?
Right now, I think it's just people. So funding and people, which are intertwined. So I think the roadmap is pretty clear now. It just needs to. I just need to build this front end and tools for groups and finish the protocol to make it ready for production. So yeah, it's just funding and people.
Yeah, and then in terms of the protocol itself, are there any limitations on like how many people can accept before it runs into issues? I mean, maybe like the market cap of Ethereum, like is that the upper bound?
Sorry. Do you mean the number
Scaling,
of users,
like,
the scalability?
Yeah. In terms of the protocol itself, do you see any issues?
I think there shouldn't be issues because we now use Merkle trees to publish scores. So the group providers can just publish Merkle root of all the scores of users. So it shouldn't be too many transactions. Another way is to move to other layers. But I don't know, it should be fairly simple to scale to all current users of Ethereum, I think.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I think that was the only question I had. Anybody else want to have closing thoughts? Or Peter, I think you said you're just going to keep building on this. Any final thoughts from anybody? All right, I think that's it. Thank you, Peter.
Okay, thank you for having me. Thanks for the
Peter.
questions. Yep, bye-bye.
So that marks the last project from group 2. I want to thank Lasse, Marc, and Joyce for spending a few hours with us and reviewing projects. For any hackers who are still with us, looks like we've got 3. Thanks for all the hackers, working over the past few weeks and submitting their projects. I know we had a lot of first-time builders for this hackathon, so it's great to see new people joining in, learning, diving in headfirst. It's always nice to see. And again, for any hackers who are still here, remember that the finale will be on Thursday from 12 to 2:30 Eastern. That's when we'll have the finalists. So we'll go through and review all the projects today and tomorrow, and then choose the finalists based on the judging categories. And then the 10 finalists will present on Thursday to another panel of judges, and it'll be live streamed. So make sure to bookmark that in your calendar, and we'll send out an invite probably sometime today for the actual event. But remember that will be on Thursday at 12 Eastern, 12 to 2:30 Eastern. Yeah, thanks again, judges. And thanks, Andy. Andy was helping us today in the background do all the promotions. So appreciate everybody's help in making this event successful as it was.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy and Trent. Yeah, this has been great. I mean, this is so fun. Always love to kind of see more projects and folks like looking to build. And a lot of them are so like shy and like, first time. It's actually very inspiring. Yeah.
Yeah, great event again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Good to see everyone. Bye.